My name is Destiny Adzaho and I am an animator, a videographer, and also an editor. Yeah, I do a little bit of directing too, like in movies, animation, and what have you. Animation is a broad term. It entails a lot, and it's been in existence for ages. It's been practiced by a lot of people, and also been observed by a lot of people too. It's been one of the things which is common to the world as a whole, and the term animation itself is all about putting life into something inanimate. And if I talk about things inanimate, I'm referring to things that you otherwise never imagined that can speak or can act, like plants. You didn't really imagine, or you can't imagine how they behave, how they live their lives, like what is it actually in their world. So animation is supposed to give life to these things. And I also see animation as a tool or an instrument for storytelling, because I see animation as one of the ways we can tell more realistic and immersive stories to our generations. Animation itself as a storytelling tool is divided into two major categories. We have the 2D animation, we have the 3D animation. There is, of course, a third one called stop motion, which is back in the days used to be the mainstream, but now only quite a few people practice that. So I wouldn't regard it as a major category of animation. So 2D mostly refers to an animation done in a 2D plane. And if I say 2D plane, I'm talking about mathematically a graph where we have just two coordinates, the X and the Y. And for 3D animation, it has the third coordinate, that's the Z axis. And the difference that you can tell from 2D and 3D is that, well, 2D feels a lot flatter, has no depth to it, and 3D feels more like real world, feel. So those are the two categories of animation. Is Africa the best continent for animation? We're not even close. I mean, looking at the things that we've done, we deserve a mention, but we are not the best. Reason being that animation didn't originate from us. It originated from somewhere else. So I mean, either in the Western world or the Eastern world. And the only thing we are doing right now is striving to achieve the level of quality or of standard that has been set up for us. So we still have a long way to go in animation. I mean, talking about developing skill sets and also developing the interest in the people of Africa, because the acceptance of animation is low. So the appreciation level is kind of very discouraging. So but we are still trying our best to put Africa on the map when it comes to animation. Is there any impact of animation at all? Well, if you ask a kid, I'm sure they'll tell you that it entails them, right? If you ask a scientist, they'll tell you that, oh, animation is what helps them to explain the scientific phenomena to the rest of the world. And if you ask a doctor, well, they're going to tell you that the best way we can actually reveal a human being's organism to themselves is through animation. And if you ask an architect, well, they'll tell you that animation helps them to visualize a building, even a whole huge construction project before it's even done. And this list can go on and on and on. So everybody that you ask in this world in a certain job field has something to say about the impact of animation. So to me, that speaks to it all, that animation is quite has its use across board and has had a lot of impact on the audience when it comes to entertainment, because at least sometimes you go to the movies to watch animated movies that you laugh about out loud, and it brings the fun in you, right? So that's the impact animation is having on the world, and there's only an amount of joy we can get from that. I mean, it's endless when you look at it. The other aspects of visualization called virtual reality, which is a new technology. Actually, it's been in existence for quite some time, but for now, it's becoming one of those industries that are thriving, and It has a massive use of animation in there because things that you visualize has to be animated. Do you get it? So animation, talk of game development as well, talk of augmented reality, you know, talk of any other aspects of life, animation is there. The future of animation. You know, every time I look at the future of animation, I always see bright colors. There's never going to be a dull moment in this industry because look at the things that are possible now because of it. Like, just imagine, you play games, right? Video games, the ones that everybody's crying about. They can't wait to get their hands on it. And every time there's a release of a new gaming console, everybody goes crazy. Whoa, yeah! Because they're expecting something great from playing games and stuff like that. And also there are a lot of people who want to go to the cinema to go and watch movies created in and with animation. And for nowadays we have a lot of even live action movies that are made to feel sci-fi, fictional and imaginative, but they still look real. Talk of Avengers Endgame, in fact all the Avengers series and all those blockbuster movies that you've ever come across, they all leverage animation. So, and in the future more and more of these things are going to go. So I see the future of animation to be bright. And even in this newfound field, virtual reality, which we've just spoken about, animation is going to play a major role in making it a bigger industry and a more realistic industry in the years to come. Do I think the world needs animation? From all the things I've said, it's quite evident that the world has needed animation from, in fact, the beginning of ages, and we still need animation now, and we will need it in the future. Mostly my field of work as animation has been confused by many, especially when it comes to our continent, Africa. See, the animation didn't start from Africa. I mean, when I talk of animation, I mean the mainstream animation didn't start from Africa. It started from somewhere, especially in America or wherever else it started from, before it became something that everybody is proud about. So in Africa, I've always said Africa is quite a century ahead, behind the rest of the world. So one of the major problems in Africa when it comes to animation is the fact that people don't really understand its impact. People don't get the influence that animation has on them, or the influence and the benefits that it could be to them. So they overlook it. They don't appreciate it. And it's sad to say. But yeah, that's why people like us exist, to kind of preach the good news about animation by producing amazing, at least close to the standard content to the rest of the world, so that they get to see, in my field of work, everybody over there is important, and everybody's work or effort to make anything or any content is a great effort and should be appreciated. Because if our people don't appreciate our work, then who else will? At least one of the ways you can appreciate our work is just go to the theater and watch one of our animations, or if you are a client who comes to us to do animation for you, pay us fairly, so that we all become happy. Because at least if we are all happy, we keep on producing animations that everybody, the rest of the world, will wonder, wow, can't believe Africans can do this. Guess what? That's our field of work. Advice to the society is that we should learn to appreciate animation, and we shouldn't just learn it, we should do it. We should appreciate animation, because it's here to help us, and it's here to make our lives better. So if we appreciate animation, it's going to help we the creators also. At least it's going to serve as a motivation and inspiration to us to keep on creating, keep on learning, keep on practicing, keep on developing this industry to greater heights. Because in Africa, we still have a long way to go. And looking at the challenges that we have in Africa, we need more hands on deck to help us to be able to better this industry. Okay, we need more investors to pump money into our animation industry. I'm talking about Africa. We need more audience, okay, and we need more encouraging words okay, to help us to be able to create more of these contents to tell our stories, because Africa's got a lot of stories that we have to tell the rest of the world to make them realize that truly Africa is a treasure, and so are we, the people living in it. Thank you all.
For more exciting interactions with tech personalities, subscribe to our YouTube channel.